feeling more here, Turner?
Omega all the way.
Omega all the way. Scrubby Cheeks, what are your thoughts here?
Well, I actually like RSG PH. I like the fact that there's the Akai as well as the Angela pick together with the combos. So I guess it just comes down to, you know, now the meat, the execution of these two compositions as well, how it plays out. And here we go.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Philippines, cheer for your team because we're jumping into the land of Dawn. Game number 1 in the best of 5.
Yes, both teams are going to be competing for their tournament lives here, so everything is at stake for the moment.
It's pretty standard. I mean, okay, jungle-wise, right? Ryzen has to, like I said, he has to be able to get this kind of early momentum started for him. So Chaknu gonna go ahead and protect him as best as possible. There's actually no aggression coming out from RSG Philippines at this start.
Looking at the top lane, I mean, the aggression already coming up in mid lane. Ryzen trying to contest for this little, I think does get it in the end. But I want to talk about the matchup between Nats and Renzio as well. The Dirov, a pretty strong pick, but we know that Renzio is really comfortable on this.
Wait, I totally spaced. That's Esmeralda in the gold lane.
Yeah, I mean, it can happen, right? And it could work for them or against them. But again, it's just going to have to depend on how they play around that, right? We've seen Kelra kind of not pick your typical marksman before. It is in his repertoire of heroes. And again, it just depends on the matchup here in the lane alone. But he's actually going to go pretty aggressive. Luckily, Emon's still going to be okay here. Ryzen also just around the corner. So early kind of pokes, but nothing big just yet.
Yeah, it all depends on how it goes down, because on paper it does seem like Amon has the better range. But I guess in the early phase, Esmeralda is stronger until, of course, the Claude pops off on his power spikes. But for the moment, they are relying heavily on those rotations. It seems like Nas is also losing that lane. And this is what Omega wants, right? They want to be able to take this early game. So they want to be able to win those lane matchups so they can roam around the map. But Renzio is forced to retreat here.
Yeah, so he survives that one, should be able to get the health bar back up. Also, EduMax is there to back him up as well. They don't commit just yet. Turtle is now up, right? So they're in a good position here. Aqua should also be getting that level 4 just now, so he's got that great ultimate ability available to him. Ryzen trying to get here in time, but it's going to be secured already by Demon Kite. Now the heavy spin comes out. Ryzen is taken down. First blood for RSG Philippines. There's the way the dragon coming out from Chaknu. Has to be careful, though. The flicker in, and they find another. 2 fall down for Smart Omega. This is the momentum that they're looking for.
RSG PH looking so strong again in the early game. And I want to talk about that in that statistic that he said actually RSG PH has a lot of a higher percentage in terms of the first tower that they take down. And this is exactly what they're doing. They take the objectives early, but the question is, Omega, we know that they work well under pressure, so it's up to them to come back from this.
The problem is, in this particular game, let's say Omega loses that early game, they barely have anything to sustain them into the late game aside from that Xavier. And Chaknu is on a single target CC hero, so he can't make those crazy big plays like he can, let's say, on the Kufra. So now it seems like, sure, RSGPH, they're only leading by 1,000k gold, but in the general scheme of things, Omega, it's not looking too good for them.
Yeah, this kind of goes against their playstyle a little bit, right? They would preferably end this game sooner than later because, like you said, scaling a little bit favorable here in RSG Philippines, whereas, yeah, Chaknu is going to have a hard time finding those targets that he really wants to, especially because I'm pretty sure we can all say it's now sprint meta, right? Sprint 3 across the board for both teams.
Looking at that fight potential, I think yes, Omega is a bit tough for them considering there's a lot of melee characters, save for E2 Max on that Xavier. I guess RSG should also have a hard time trying to go into this backline because they're going to all be protecting E2 Max basically. But Omega, I like that they do have that kind of plan B. The split push potential in the late game, if they do fall off, is also really great.
Not only that, but I think they did a great thing actually just putting Kelra on the Esmeralda, right? So you're not having to face into that counter pick of the Dyroth. So this, again, could work out for them, and they could use that as kind of that frontline body that they need later on. But it just really depends on how they play around that. Now, with this Turtle, the second one of the game, it's going to be half health here. Ryzen trying to find the setup. Mystic Field comes down. It's going to be secured a one-time again by Demon Kite. There's the hard guard pushing everybody away with the heavy spin. Ryzen's got to be careful. He takes quite a bit of damage. But right now, RSG Philippines showing discipline.
They took that so easily, and now they are winning with a 2,000 gold lead. And it's difficult, right? Because Omega, sure, they have the early game pressure, especially with Ryzen on the Fanny and so on and so forth. But as you can see here, okay, a little skirmish, nothing too fancy just yet. The problem is they have Demon Kite, and they also have Light, who can help the sustainability of Demon Kite with the Heart Guard, as well as that heavy spin coming in as well. So even if Fanny wants to go in contest for objectives, it's much more difficult to do it in terms of execution.
Yeah, it's tough, right? Because Light, again, on this Angela, able to pop the Heart Guard. There's actually quite a few targets he can use this on. The best one, in my opinion, would be Emma, especially later on. Because pretty much the job of Claude, right, is to just pop the Blazing Duet. Hold on, Orenzio locked down here again by the heavy spin. Hey, Scrubby Cheeks, you asked, you know, does Demon Kite usually like to play the Sakai? Well, I guess he does because he's doing a great job.
Definitely. I mean, he's 2-0-1 at this point, and pulling off those heavy spins to initiate the fights, to get the objectives, it's exactly what he's looking for. And so far, it's helped RSG PH dominate and get map control. They've already secured the top tier 1 turret as well, so Omega slowly losing a little bit of visibility over this map.
And in addition to that, Aqua has just secured that Ice Queen wand. So if we thought that real-world manipulation was a huge threat for Omega in those 5v5 team fights or even pickoffs, it's going to be a little bit worse now that there is going to be additional slow in whenever she pops in that ultimate.
See, so this is kind of weird, right? Because the gameplays which we've been seeing, especially today or in the previous days, has been pretty scrappy, I would say. Especially yesterday or even the last series from today. This is much more objective-based than what we're used to seeing, but again, these are very familiar teams facing each other. They know their play style inside and out. Again, it just depends. What did they learn in this tournament facing against these other teams from the region, and how do they take it into this series? But right now, this is pretty standard. RSG Philippines has a nice, comfortable gold lead here. Another turtle's going to be up. Let's see if actually Smart Omega can contest this one.
Well, it does look like they are trying to be primed for it, you know, clearing up the waves on the top. Renzio also positioning himself in the bush here. Ryzen hanging around, cables flying here, but actually going the other direction, so maybe he might not after all.
Yeah, I think they just accept the fact that, hey, we're not going to get any turtles, right? Just give them up, because we've seen that before. Turtles don't mean everything, but as the Lords come up, you really don't want to just continue to give big objectives away, because that gold gap will continue to build.
But what else can you do? I mean, at this stage, you want to go for the split push. They just seem to be able to read out those movements coming in from Omega.
Oh, okay, Naz doesn't know Ryzen is there. Going to focus on Kelra. Now going to be a 2 versus 1, but he should be fine. Ryzen on the Fanny pick, this is kind of baffling, right? He hasn't really had much impact at all up to this point. He has been trying to get a little bit of vision here and there on the objectives, but so far, when you have a pick like this type of hero, Fanny, and at this point in the game, you don't have any kills, it's tough to get back into position here.
I think that's exactly what he's facing now, taking a lot of damage from Iman here in the mid lane, but it's only going to get tougher. Ryzen, he's 0-1-0 at this point, 2 levels behind, actually now 3 levels behind Demon Kite. So even if he wanted to secure these objectives, he's going to have to risk his life for it. And I'm not sure. Omega, I just feel like they're letting a little bit too much go.
If you think, I mean, what is the game plan here, right? It's literally to take it to the Omega timers, you know, because we talked about it before, that 18 to 20 minute mark might be the time where they're just, at that point, they've got the items they need. But then again, who is going to be the one setting everything up? It could be Chaknu, Etu Max. Also, the damage on the Xavier has proven to be quite deadly later on in the game, especially on a low cooldown. But like you guys said, at this point, there's so many things that Omega has to worry about on the side of RSG Philippines, especially with this type of lead already.
Yeah, RSG Philippines, they have a lot of things to work with. They can go, let's say, go for a 5v5 team fight. They can use the real-world manipulation to get those type of things in motion. And they also have the sustainability as well as the damage coming in from Iman in the later stage of the game, especially with the Blazing Duet already popping off. But for the side of Omega, they're relying very heavily on E2max because they decided to choose an Esmeralda to put into that late game. And there always is going to be a cap, especially against a marksman. And now RSG Philippines, they have opted to go for that next neutral objective in that Lord, completely uncontested. And Omega, even though they do have the Fanny, they do have a plan B there. They can go for those split pushes, but we don't see that happening.
Yeah, they just give up the Lord here. There's the Dawning Light. They could possibly look for initiation, but they should just continue to buy time. They're going to have to worry about the Lord going in the top lane. Luckily, they still have those tier 1 turret in the mid lane for now, so they don't have to sacrifice that. But again, RSG just showing that objective kind of dominant playstyle right now.
Honestly, nice to Eterna. I am baffled here. This is, I feel like it's not very characteristic of Omega, and especially after we've seen them take 3-0 that set against Falcon that was back-to-back-to-back, but right now Demon Kai pinning Ryzen to the wall. It's gonna be secured a kill completely for free as they continue the siege up top with the Lord as well. Kelra hanging around, maybe trying to pull a bit of defense here, but I don't think he's able to do anything. He gets knocked up here for a bit, tries to make the escape. The slows are in. It's not going to be able to take him down just yet.
So like you were saying, Scrubby, right? This is uncharacteristic of Smart Omega because most of the teams that they've been playing with up to this point they've matched that aggression. They've matched that kind of chaos type play style, whereas RSG Philippines is more known for that kind of calculated strategy type. Let's do things cleanly and objectively. So at this point, that's the game that's being controlled here. Smart Omega, if they can, again, drag this on, it could be better. There's going to be the Dawning Light. That's the lockdown with the heavy spin. Renzio should be fine, though. Kelra also zoning them out, but they committed quite a bit here.
I mean, these are just really, really good macro reads coming in from RSG Philippines. But right now, Omega, okay, I thought they were going to fight back here, but it doesn't seem like they want to take too much of a risk, that knowing that all 3 lanes are being pushed here for Omega. RSGPH still leading in terms of economy. So what can Omega do at this stage? What do they need?
Honestly, we need a Mamba play, right? And that's what he's trying to look for, but unfortunately, they don't have that kind of backup potential. Even if he finds one, most likely it's hard to capitalize on it because this is the thing, right? When Kelra picks that Esmeralda, takes it to the gold lane, unfortunately you don't have that kind of switch to just pop on like you have with a marksman, right? You can already see the damage dealt difference here too. It's quite a gap, right? Naths is doing an insane amount of damage on that Dyroth. Now, this could be the initiation. There's going to be the way of the dragon, but Chaknu goes down, taking way too much. Can they return this right under turret? They're running for their lives. Emon has the heart guard. Rendio trying to stop him. There's the Dawning Light. They can't get him just yet, turning them back here. Nath still has the immortality, should be fine. Kelra responds with lots of damage, has to run for the base.
Oh, but it's, oh my god, Kelra was actually almost able to take him down, and that would have been a 3-4-0 trade for the side of RSGPH. If things were looking grim, now it's looking a little bit worse, but it does seem like Ryzen is looking for a little bit of compensation and is going to be pushing in that bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, now they're pulling the strategy, right? The plan B, the split push. And I'm starting to think that maybe that wasn't the plan B. Like, that maybe that was the plan A after all. Wait for the counter initiations, but right now, Demon Kite again pinning Ryzen to the wall. And he has nowhere to go. I'm honestly confused right now. Up top though, Kelra, the flicker in by Nas, going deep in, trying to get the kill. Another hit will do the trick, but Renzio comes in for the rescue. Heart guard to save him here. Will it be enough though? Chaknu as well as Renzio going on to him. The heals are so much for him to survive that fight. That is just illegal. That should be made illegal.
Wait, going back to that Lord, right? Well, I'm not sure exactly what the plan there was for Ryzen, but he just kind of watched them take it, and then he got pinned down with a heavy spin, right? So that was unfortunate, and now Smart Omega has to worry about this Lord marching into the base at the top side. Meanwhile, the rest of them, focusing up here, want to crack open the base as best as possible, get that space. Chaknu could be looking for a moment if he can find one, but they're just kind of outclassed right now. Here comes a real-world manipulation. Renzio has to run, pops the sprint, should be able to survive. Dawning Light comes out as well. Meanwhile, for now, RSG happy with that one turret.
Omega lives to fight another day with a good defense for that moment. And once again, Ryzen is going to choose to split push and is actually trying to do that in that bottom side.
See, this is the thing, right? If we take a look at the items, it's a little tough, right? Because Fanny, even with that Malefic Roar, it's just the damage is not there. And at this point, you're kind of playing defensively. You're not really going with that game plan, but now Kelra going to be the focus here with the heavy spin. Finds another target. Kelra still alive, though, thanks to that sprint.
Well, it's looking tougher and tougher for Omega, honestly. I'm not sure I even see them coming back from this. They could potentially counter-initiate if they bait out the ultimates from RSGPH, for example, the heavy spin, the blazing duet, and the real manipulation, even though that's 3 huge ultimates to bait out in the first place. But if they do that, then yes, potentially, but they would have to be very, very patient.
I agree with you. Like, for the side of Omega, who are you supposed to target, right? Because Chaknu only has one opportunity with that Way of Dragon. The problem is, Iman is doing damage, Nas is doing damage, and Aqua is doing damage, and Demon Kite is just being super annoying with that heavy spin, really being able to find those pickoffs off the board. So essentially, it's not much to work with at the moment. But for the side of RSGPH, who do you target? It's so easy. You can just target E2 Max, and basically, the damage is gone.
Yeah, because, I mean, not like if they want to just kind of defense up or turtle up here for Smart Omega, again, you have Emon, right? This is the whole point of also having a Claude, because you force everyone to pretty much disperse once you pop the Blazing Duet, but then you're paired up with the Heart Guard, so it's really a tough, kind of weird, sticky situation for Smart Omega to deal with. And again, even if you buy time at this point, what are you buying time for, right? Look at Naps going against Ryzen, but he should be just fine here. Meanwhile, Lord going to be worked on in the top side of the map. Demon Kite working on that. Renzio and Chaknu just around the corner, but does not have the backup. This most likely would just go over in the hands of RSG Philippines. Again, the heavy spin right on top of Renzio. Should be able to escape because he has that sprint as well. But Nav's now on the focus here. Let's see if they actually can disengage. They should be fine.
A free Lord again going the way of RSGPH. Might I just point out, we are 16 minutes into the game. The score is 7-0. And this is an Omega with a Fanny, Ryzen on the Fanny as well. I am really lost for words. Like, I'm not sure what to make of this.
Well, Renzo going to be the focus here once again. Chaknu with the flicker away, the Dragon combo. Can they finally find a kill here? Dawning Light does come out. Nav still going to be alive. Ryzen trying to get back to the base here. Lord will be marching up top, but there you go. Ryzen finally taken down. They have to be able to defend this. RSG Philippines has a couple members low health, but they have the heals. Ryzen trying to help out here, but he just has no damage. Lord's still going to be up in the top. Can they defend this one? They're going to be able to clear that, but they lose a turret in the mid. Dawning Light once again being popped here. It's only a matter of time. They do defend. Chaknu trying to find a moment, but can't get one. Killing spree for Emon, but Light does get taken down here. Now Kelra going to be the focus. Do they have enough minions? Dawning Light once again. This is it. This could be it. The mega kill for Demon Kite. They still have a minion wave coming in. Ryzen trying to find Emon. Look at the damage coming out. Can they end it here? Emon and Demon Kite. Looks like Navs is going to go back. So right now, happy to just take every single turret from the base of Smart Omega.
You know what? Maybe that was the play. Wait until RSGPH sieged into but Emon in some trouble here. Pops the battle mirror image to get out. And now the lifesteal not enough to keep him alive. Ryzen gonna get the kill there, but being chased down potentially. Demon Kite looking for the kill, gonna give it up for now. That was, it was strange to watch. You know, Ryzen was just in a base and it felt like a merry-go-round a little.
Yeah.
He was just going in, trying to get a kill, healing up, and then coming back out again. Like right now, onto Demon Kite, gets the Mystic Field stun, but he's just walking away from it completely. Chaknu waiting for him, pops a heavy spin to be able to get away, so Demon Kite disengages successfully.
Wow. I'm not sure what just happened. I mean, they are going full throttle at the moment. RSG Philippines, it seems like they want to end it as soon as possible. And I'm not really sure why. They do have better scaling into that late game, and it is Omega's game to lose. But what I was caught off guard was the itemization coming in from Light. I'm wondering if we can get a peek into that, because if I'm not mistaken, it was the Holy Crystal here being made by Light, who is on that Angela. I don't think I've ever seen that itemization on that before.
Well, you know, Light just wants a little more magic damage here. It will help him out. There's the items. You can take a look.
See?
Like you said, yeah, there it is, right? So he's actually built quite well, especially just paired. A lot of times he's using that Heart Guard on Emon here. and it's proving to be pretty worthy. His heals are also pretty strong at this point. So I gotta say though, even given the fact here at this point, 20 minutes a game, this could be considered Smart Omega time, right? This is the time for them to really just get things together, pop off. That's why you see, okay, there it is. Light is taken out by the Dawning Light, and now the Lord could be for the taking. Renzio getting attention for himself. Let's see, if they actually decide to push a go here on this next big objective. Meanwhile, Dawning Light comes out once again, forcing RSG Philippines back.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess Omega, like you said, this might be their time and they're slowly coming back. Maybe they were just waiting for this moment to be farmed up and start taking these hits here. Renzio going in for a Demon Kite. E2 Max's snipe misses for the moment, but zones them out a little bit. And now Omega, the position on the Lord. They're starting it up, but the knock up here onto Demon Kite. He's immobilized, pops a heavy spin to get away from the fight. And it looks like actually this Lord is gonna go the way of Omega. Iman takes a lot of damage in the backline as well. So no contest from RSGPH.
This is crazy. What is going on here? This is, again, this is why they're the comeback kings here. Smart Omega down pretty much the entire game. And again, it gets to that time frame, that for some reason, I don't know what it is about the 18-minute mark, but then they just decide to just give everything a go. They find those picks that they want to, and now they have this minor advantage right now, right? They're going to have to deal with the Lord. RSG Philippines still has great clear, so they have to work around that. They need to be able to manage these waves a little bit more, make sure that they utilize having this Lord play available to them. Damage dealt already. Again, look at Ed2 Max's damage. He's slowly but surely gotten to this point. As you can see, he's pretty much got a Dawning Light every 15 seconds or so. So right now, that is a big obstacle for RSG Philippines to handle.
Yeah, Light needs to kind of itemize better. I think that Holy Crystal was a little bit too greedy. And honestly, whenever I see RSGPH fall on top of all these team fights that happen, it's because of the miscalculation that the Heart Guard can actually bring to the table. And if Light is not a part of that equation, it's easier for Omega because they have a composition in where they are heavily reliant on these skills. So once the Way of Dragon pops off, it's not gonna be another while until they get that back.
Yeah, definitely. RSGPH needs to watch out for their positioning. The snipes coming from E2 Max, like right now, is going to put out damage onto Iman as well. Going to heal that up pretty quickly with the, I believe Haas's claws, but still, you cannot afford to take these pokes from Omega because, you know, Chaknu can always flicker in with the Way of Dragon. Nas trying to cause some disruption here in the backline onto Kelra. Renzio responds with just a lot of hits here. Dawning Light comes through, doesn't do any damage at all, but Demon Kite uses the heavy spin to just force a retreat.
This is crazy, right? RSG Philippines with their backs against the wall now, so the Mystic Field's going to go here. Smart Omega should be able to grab another turret if they can just buy a little more time for those waves to push in. They've got great clear themselves. You can see and respect the work that Renzio is doing too, right? This Masha pick is very comfortable for him. And right now he's actually being quite a nuisance for RSG Philippines.
And due to that fact, what initially was a 10,000 gold lead for the side of RSGPH is actually shrunken to only 4,000. So Omega, they really are catching up. They really are the comeback kings in this particular situation. And we already see that E2 Max build towards that glowing wand, so he does have additional DOT, but wait a minute.
Nap's gonna be in trouble, has to flicker out, still has immortality too. Dawning Light is enough to pop it, so no more immortality for Naz. Nice pick there. Again, this is just small decisions that Smart Omega is making here, and it's winning them the game so far. Demon Kite forced to pop the heavy spin. Shouldn't be able to get anything here, just uses it defensively, but time after time, Smart Omega showing their confidence here, even being down for the majority of the game.
See, so this is what we talked about. Omega in the later part of the game right now, 23 minutes in, they're all going to be so tanky. Eterna, you said, right? Beefy, girth.
Yeah.
Girth.
Yeah.
They
very,
have so
very
much.
girth.
The only person you want to go for is E2 Max, but you can hardly reach him.
Again, that's the strength of having this Xavier pick, right? Because at this point, this is when it's really easy for Xavier just to kind of sit back, get those the CC off, pop out the Dawning Light for the damage, and now we can see even Lord here going to be worked on. Look at Renzio pushing Aqua back, so he already zones him now. Demon Kite going to be in trouble here. Three members focusing him down. Ed2 Max looking to set up here. There's the Heart Guard. Emon looking for a play. Pops the Blazing Duet. Has to go back. Chaknu quite low here. Renzio looking to follow up, but they don't find it. Now Naz pushing back. It's a push and pull so far. No one committing to the Lord just yet.
But on the side of RSG, they've expended a lot of ultimates just to try to get an engage onto Omega, but they've basically done no damage. I think the Blazing Duet missed the mark on E2 Max as well as Ryzen. RSG gonna go ahead to still start up this Lord. They still have that ult on Aqua potentially, but here comes the Dawning Light, and Iman now takes so much damage. Backs away with the Battle Mirror image. It is Omega's turn to take the aggression.
Oh, man, you can see them just kind of trying to pretty much force each other to make mistakes, right? No one wants to fully commit on that Lord just yet, but look at the damage coming out, right? Emon has to be super careful because if he does not have kind of a conscious decision on where he's going with the placement, he does take quite a bit of damage now, especially if Renzio continues to zone out Aqua. Aqua has done a great job not dying, right? But he is being stopped here, especially with that real-world manipulation setup, and that's really their advantage, especially around the big objectives like this Lord. It's 25 minutes in.
I mean, at this stage, if we take a look at the items here in the 25th minute, it does seem like RSGPH have now opted to respect the damage output that E2 Max can have. All 5 of them have secured their Athena shield, so maybe, just maybe, that won't be too much of a factor, of course, unless that Xavier builds more penetration. He already does have the Divine Glaive on the board, and additionally, with that glowing wand, he can burst through all the members, even have an additional DOT for beefier members like Demon Kite as well as Nats.
Demon Kite going ahead to start up this Lord here. I think he's just baiting it at this point. Omega, though, they are in position to be able to dive into the backline as well. Nas coming from the flank, finds Kelra, just brawls it out a little in the middle. In the meantime, though, Ryzen just taking all these objectives in the macro play. Dawning Light comes through, puts out some damage onto Nas as well as Demon Kite. But now RGPH, they want to chase Eman with the Blazing Duet, and the Hardcore Buck gets caught by the way of Dragon. Pops Battle Mirror image to get out safely off that fight, and now Omega, they're on the hunt. Ryzen finds Nas in the backline. It is 1 kill traded out between 2 teams, but E2 Max fallen. I say that's a win for RSG.
Okay, a 1-for-1, right? But I still think it's a little too risky for each team to even start the Lord here, but both sides, right? No turrets left in their base. That was a great workaround from Ryzen 2 to go ahead and grab those turrets, because first he got the top one, then he ended up making his way down to the middle, and it worked out. So now they kind of both have that equal front. Again, it comes down to who gets this Lord. We can see both teams starting up around it. Big pickup here. Renzio might be looking to push back Emon. He does not want to have Aqua or Emon free reign here. So Demon Kite still going to work on it. Chaknu there too. Ryzen does not have a care in the world for this Lord as he's still in the base. There's the focus here. Chaknu takes quite a bit of damage. Renzio pops the Immortality. Emon gets the Heart Guard. There's the heavy spin. Renzio still alive though, quite tanky himself. Falling Star Moon comes in. Look at Ryzen at the base. He doesn't end it. 1 hit away. And luckily Aqua was there.
Yeah, what I was about to mention is it was so risky for RSG Philippines to actually go onto that Lord, actually commit to it, because Omega were pushing both lanes, mid as well as top, with no care in the world, like you mentioned. That was so close to being Omega's game, and now RSG Philippines, they're aware of that. This is a huge possibility that they can take, and Omega, they might not be able to pull the same thing twice.
This is it, plan A. Plan A all along, just split push, go in the base and backdoor it. Right now, honestly, they have the chance to backdoor this if they really wanted to, but they're gonna go ahead with the Lord here. Already half HP, Iman! Again caught by Renzio in the backside. Hardguard, not enough to save him. Kaura with the shields is going to be able to counter that entirely. Nas is a trouble. Dawning Light gets him and puts him down, and now the Lord all the way of Dragon as well onto Demon Kite. Pops the heavy spin. Will he be able to get out? Aqua in the backline getting caught by Renzio. Demon Kite steals the Lord. How does he do this? Getting punished now for it though. E2 Max puts out the damage, puts out the pain on him, and Aqua, they secure the deal. Demon Kite, the only one left here, shut down by Kelra. The double kill. Light is all alone.
4 members have been taken down for the side of RSG Philippines. It is a Lord on the way in that mid side, but will Omega use this opportunity to finally take game number 1?
And they're going to work on this Lord here. They have pretty much everything they need in their favor to end the game here. It's only a matter of time. Smart Omega takes game number 1 from RSG Philippines.
Smart Omega with a comeback victory, a huge upset for RSG as they were the ones controlling that game from the early up until that mid-game. But as you mentioned, when it entered that 18 minute, that is when Omega starts going strong.
You know?
What?
Yeah.
What?
I know.
One shot Omega. Yo.
Hey, that's game number 1, right? And we said it. Smart Omega timers are real, and this proves it.